Everyone, this is Liz from Creative Life of Liz, and I'm here planning for the week of November 10th through the 16th. This is in my B&R Paper Crafts Plan B planner. For this week, I'm also using a kit from B&R Paper Crafts. It's called Work From Home. This is a deluxe kit on matte vinyl. This is the full box page. Has these really pretty little like doodles and things in these colors. And then the bottom washi and date covers, boxes, functional things, full box checklists, some deco, and some more functional stuff. So this kit is a little weird in that I don't get the last page. I'm not really sure what happened there. Usually there's another page that has like headers and things like that. But I did pull out a couple. I have this really skinny one that's a really old one from Amazon that I'm gonna put along the top. And then I have this one that's kind of like coppery with roses. I'm gonna put that through the middle too. I think they go pretty well, so I'm just gonna go with it. And we're gonna run the full boxes through the middle again this week. Also, while I'm doing all of the prep work, I'm gonna put down the bottom washi and the date covers and the full box checklists are going to go down, and then the date dots. Okay, so I'm gonna do all of those things, and then I will be back so that we can do the interesting bits. Okay, here is where we are at so far. I think it's looking pretty cute. For the full boxes, I have one extra, and I'm not sure which one I want to treat as the extra. Perhaps I will treat this one as the extra, and we'll see if we can fit that one in, and we'll just make do if we can't. So for the boxes, first off, if you've been in the planner community a long time, you know that it has been tradition to stick a double box at the end of the week on the weekend. For whatever reason, this doesn't want to cut. So I'm just gonna cut a little bit of it and see if that is enough. Okay, yeah. So tradition dictates that we put the double box on the weekend, so that's what I'm gonna do. With this slightly wider washi, I do have the full space filled. I'm not really sure why. Sometimes it seems like it cuts deep enough and sometimes it doesn't. It's very possible that she sent me some like oops kits. Because some of these kits were sent because of a delay in my order getting to me. All right, there we go. Other things I know for sure, this box has Monday on it. So obviously it seems like it should go on Monday. I don't know what anyone else thinks, but it seems obvious to me. I'm trying to figure out which side to trim that I can like see the line clearly enough to trim it well. Apparently this one I can see the line and still can't trim it enough to see it, to do a good job. Okay, there we go. There's that one. Okay, so this is Monday's box. And then what do we want to go on Tuesday that kind of like goes with these vibes? Maybe we'll do the books and coffee on Tuesday. I feel like I need to trim more of this. Sometimes the problem with the vinyl is that it'll just stretch instead of tear. And I want to minimize how much I do that, obviously. All right, there we go. So that leaves me these 3, and then I need one up there. Let's see. I think I'm gonna stick this guy on Friday. Since Fridays I have videos go up, so definitely feels like a planner day. There we go. So then I feel like this one goes with that the most. It does put 2 laptops or 2 computers both on the first half of the week, but I feel like that's actually an accurate representation of these kinds of things. Okay, I think I'm gonna put the printer as my quote box because it feels weird to put sweatpants as my quote box on a like get things done kind of week. All right, that definitely cut deep enough, so can you just peel up, please? I cut through the paper and almost cut into my planner page, which would be not great for sure. All right, there we go. So then that means that this one once I get it cut is going to be what I put on Thursday. Kind of like the stripes as the background. I think that's cute. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now moving on to the sidebar. I have a whole bunch of pages and everywhere. Okay, first off, I want to pick up the this week. The rest of these all picked up on this page without me needing to cut them. There we go. Stick that down. That looks reasonably straight. And then I have a habit tracker. Do I have a second habit tracker? I do have a second habit tracker. There we go. Do I want 2 habit trackers in here actually? I think I might actually remove the second one. I don't think I need 2 habit trackers. This is gonna be for socials. I don't have a right sticker, I don't think, for socials. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it. We're gonna call it good. All the headers that I have are to do today little things, which is not super helpful for everything that comes after this. So I'm just gonna be sticking down boxes. Okay, so first off, this one, and then I think what I'm gonna do is put the remaining full box. I can get it, because I don't really need the other full box checklist for to-do items. So might as well just to use that at some point in the future. There we go. And then I feel like the second habit tracker would have fit pretty perfectly, but it's fine. Do I want to put down deco down here? Or do I want to put down like half of one of these boxes? I think I'm going to try to squeeze some deco down here. That one's a little big. And I can put the mouse. All right, that looks pretty cute. I do have a little space up here. This deco is pretty large, so it's not very good for using like during the week kind of situation. So I feel like I could just put it up here. So I've got like a little package. And then maybe I'll put like the glasses up there. Sure, let's go with that. Moving on to the daily plans. First off, I do want to mark in work. Usually I use these little skinny boxes to do that. So that's work. And then I am going to take this one, this box, and I'm going to estimate half. Maybe not perfect, but I'm going to do my best. That's definitely not half, but close enough. And I'm going to put that down to mark my plan with me, which does have a sticker that I'm going to lay down on top of this. All right, there we go. I also have a take out garbage sticker, which if you watched the previous plan with me, you'll know I did like some sticker surgery, but I think I have a little more space this time. So that fits pretty well. All right, moving on to Tuesday. It is my sister's birthday, and so I would like to mark that. I don't have a super appropriate sticker, but I think what I'm just gonna do is just put in like this little flag. I think that'll work pretty well. And then I'm going to put in one of these little strips for work. There we go. And then Wednesday, another work day, like so. And then again, I don't really have an appropriate sticker for it. Maybe I'll use the little alarm clock. Sure, why not? I do want to just mark also up here. Maybe we'll put it right here. I have a haircut after work, so I'll use the little alarm for an appointment. Okay, so that's the first half of the week. Moving on to the second half of the week. I'm going to use this last little strip that I have on this page for work. And then I do have curling in the evening. What color little strip do I want to use? I'm not sure why this was like such a hard decision to make. I'm going to mark it there. It's an early game, although I'm not sure that we would do anything after, because even in early game, we don't get home until like 10 p.m. usually. So I'm going to put the little kettlebell. I know it's not a kettlebell workout, but close enough. And then Friday, I have lots of pink already. Maybe I'll use this color for work. And then I do have a video going up. I'm going to use the rest of this strip. It's a little wider than the one I used on Monday, but whatever. It is what it is. The planner is just so tall. It is my personal planner that's going up. All right, we're gonna make it work. There we go. And then the weekend, the only thing I know is I need to drop some things off at the curling club on one of the days, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna use this guy, so I'm just gonna throw that to the side. I am actually going to pull out the weekend banner. And I'm gonna just put it at the top of the bottom washi since it's just a pattern, so it's not a big deal to add something there. So I have some functionals and icons, boxes, and more functional things here. So lots of stuff I can still use during the week, and then I can always pull in some stuff from my stash if I need anything else. So this is where we're at for the pre-planning. Stick around for just a second to see the finished spread. All right, here's the finished spread. I think it turned out super cute. Definitely unusual colors for fall, but I think that these kind of like really soft colors do actually work really well. And I like the just tiny bit of shininess from this particular washi tape. I think it turned out cute. As expected, since this is a deluxe kit, I do have a good amount left over. However, by the nature of this kit, it's not really usable a second time. So I have like one bit of deco and some functional things, more functional things, some boxes, one checklist, and then these 2 pages are done. So my plan is to throw these things, I think, together into my leftovers because they are kind of colors that go together, and there's a good amount of each color. So I will probably keep them together for now in my leftovers to use with some other spread in the future, but definitely not another spread on its own. But I do love how this turned out. I think it's so cute, and I like that I managed to like hide a bunch more deco into some of the things that I did. I think that worked out pretty well, and I think it's cute. So this week was busy, kind of crazy at work for sure, and then a pretty nice weekend overall. But that's all I really have for today. So as always, please like and subscribe below if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. Let me know how your week went down below, or if you don't have anything that you want to leave me a coffee cup emoji. I feel like that's appropriate for Monday. And I would just love to say hi, hear from you. And then follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Creative Life of Liz. You'll see in progress and finished spreads. I tag the shops on Instagram. I include them in addition to a description in the alt text on Blue Sky. I also show you bits and pieces of my life, what I'm reading, all that good stuff. And until next time, bye.